This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. So the final topic of Java, collections. This is a very, very important. We use this collections topic in Selenium because some of the WebDriver methods returns the collection type. That's why we need these topics. Okay, what is a collections? Collection is a dynamic data structure. We have seen array. Array is a static data structure. It doesn't change the size once you create an array. But here it's a dynamic data structure. The meaning of dynamic data structure is you can enter the values in number at runtime, and even you can reduce also from the collection. The size can be expandable and collapsible. Both can be done in the collections. That's why it is called a dynamic data structures. Then what is a collection? A collection is a ready-made framework which provides an architecture to store the values or basically objects, and you can manipulate this group of objects. A collection can achieve all operations that you can perform on the objects, such as setting, sorting, insertion, manipulation, and deletion. All these operations you can perform once you have a collection. Once you have a collection, you can do a set, you can perform particular element is present or not in this collection, or you can sort the collection. So all the objects you can sort it. Insertion, you can insert a new element. You can delete a element, already existing element in the collection. So these are all operations you can perform with the collection. So collection means a single unit of objects. Basically many objects will be there, but single unit, one unit. That is called collection. And collection framework provides many classes and interfaces. So the interfaces we already discussed. What is meant by interface?
It's a template.
Template or a blueprint, sir.
Blueprint.
Class also same. Then what is the difference?
It has abstract, default, and static methods, sir, and constants.
Yeah, that's it. Then, so good. One point is good.
We can do multiple inheritance in interface, but not in class.
Good. Okay, as you mentioned, so interface contains abstract methods and default and static methods, but mainly it has abstract methods. What is meant by abstract methods? You will just declare them. You won't define. That means undefined methods. The definition is given or implemented in the classes. So same is that is called interface. Here such kind of interfaces are many here. One is set, list, queue, dequeue interfaces, and these interfaces are implemented in these classes. Array list, vector, linked list, priority queue, hash set, linked hash set, tree set. So these are all the classes these interfaces are implemented. That means all the interface methods implemented in these classes. So let's see the hierarchy of complete the collection hierarchy. So these collections you can find in java.util package. Java.util package, which contains all the collection classes and interfaces. So let's see this diagram. Yeah. So all this pink color are classes and light yellow color is interface. First one is iterable interface, then collection. The collection below you have a sub interfaces, list, set, queue, dequeue. These are the sub interfaces of collection interface. Collection is an interface, the parent interface for list, set, queue, dequeue, and collection parent interface is iterable interface. That means list extends the collection, comma iterable, or you can say collection extends iterable. So collection interface extends another interface, right? And then, so if you go tailed interface, that is list extends collection, and automatically iterable methods also will come to here, and all you will implement in the where you are implementing the list. Now if you observe, list is implemented in these classes: array list class, linked list class, vector classes, and the stack is another class. This is the child class, that parent is the vector class. But all these three classes, the list is implemented. Which are the three classes inside list is implemented? Array list, linked list, vector classes. And set is implemented in hash set, linked hash set, and tree set classes. And queue is implemented in priority queue, and dequeue is implemented by linked list class and array dequeue classes. And sorted set is implemented in tree set along with set methods also implemented in this tree set class. This is the complete hierarchy of collection classes. So keep one point in mind: an interface methods are implemented in the classes. While implementing, you will write a class name, implements, interface name. This is the points we discussed already in the interface topic. The same is applicable here also. And that's all the hierarchy of classes. This is the one important, if you remember this, which classes implemented each interface. This is a very, very easy to code also. And what is a collection interface methods? What are all the collection interface methods? The first one is add method. The add method is used to insert an element into the collection. How you can use? The collection name dot add object element. You can insert this element into this collection. One element will be inserted into collection. There is an add all method, collection C. It is used to insert a group of objects into the collection, or you can join two collections using this add all method. And collection name dot add all method, and you can give a collection of elements, a group of elements you can give. All that group of elements will be added to the collection. Remove object element. You can delete an element from the collection. If that element is already available in the collection, that will be deleted from the collection. Remove all.
So when you say collection elements, right? So element is can be anything, can be integer,
can be anything. It should be an object, okay? Anything, any type of data you can insert into the collection.
Even strings also?
Yeah, strings are objects, right?
Yeah, okay.
Strings are objects, right? Even primitive data also you can put in the object format. It will take as an object.
Okay.
Next, remove all. A collection of elements if you want to remove. A group of elements if you want to remove. Already exist few elements. Suppose your collection size is 10. In that, 5 you want to remove. Then you can use this remove all method. Collection name dot remove all collection C. And the mostly used one, next one, fifth one, size method. If you want to know the size of the collection, total number of elements, if you want to know, you can use this size method. Count equal to collection name dot size method. And it's a return type method. Next, clear method removes the total number of elements from the collection. How can you call clear method? Collection name dot clear method. And you know return type methods how to call. The return data type of the method, variable name equal to collection name dot size. That's a return type method how to call. Contains object element. Basically, it is going to search the given element is present in the collection or not. If it is present, it returns true. If it is not present, it returns false. So that's why it return type variable name equal to collection name dot contains object element. And most used one, if you want to iterate the collection element, you can use iterator method. This iterator method is available in the iterable interface. In the top top interface is there, right? This one. This interface inside this iterator method is declared. Iterator method is declared in that iterable interface inside. Now, because collection is already extended to iterable, right? So iterable method is coming to collection by default. And what this iterator method will do, you can iterate the collection. Like we are iterating array using a for each loop and normal for loop, right? Here, you can iterate the collection using this iterator method. This iterator method returns an iterator interface. Right? I told you data type, the return type of the method can be any data, any type of data. It can be a class, interface, and primitive data. It could be anything. So here you can see this method is returning an interface, iterator interface. So the return type of the method iterator, it equal to collection name dot iterator. This is the syntax how to use this iterator method. Same code you can use anywhere. Only collection name will change here. Based on your collection name, you give that collection name there. That's the how to use iterator method. And then to array method. You can convert the collection into array format. The return type of to array is object array. So the return type of to array method is object array. Array name equal to collection name dot to array. You can convert the collection into array format also using to array method. Is empty. It checks whether the collection is empty or not. Boolean method. This one returns a Boolean value. And equals method. And equals method, it just compares the given element with the collection element. That's the equals. It compares of both the elements are same or not. Retain all. There is a contains all also. Contains all means a group of elements you can set in the collection. That's a contains all. Contains means it searches the single element. Whatever the one element it will search. Contains all will search a group of elements. A collection of elements you can search in the existing collection. Retain all. Understand. Remove all and retain all. Understand the difference between both of them. Remove all, it removes the specified collection of elements. For example, if I specify element 1, element 2, element 3, these elements will be deleted from the collection with remove all method. Okay. Now retain all collection of C. That means retain all means there are, for example, you have 5 elements: E1, E2, E3, E4, E5. I will ask to retain only E2 and E5. Then remaining all will be deleted. Only mentioned one will retain in the collection. Remaining will be deleted automatically. That is the retain all and remove all difference. Remove all is whatever you mentioned will be deleted from the collection. Retain all, whatever you mentioned will be retained, remaining will be deleted. That's a difference between remove all and retain all. These are the methods you will use the automation also. So that's why mostly used one is this one: equals method, iterator method, contains, size method, add all, and add method. These are the ones regularly will use in the automation. Okay, that's why this is a very, very important. And so this iterator method is returning for iterator interface, right? What is meant by this iterator interface? Iterator interface provides the facility of iterating the elements in forward direction only. One direction only can iterate the elements. That means iterating means one by one element, moving one by one element. That is this iterator interface means, and which provides few methods. Okay, you are iterating. How can you check that the next element is there or not? Or how can you get the element on that position? So to get that, we have two methods you can use. The first one is has next method. This method is declared in this iterator interface, which tells the next element is present or not. The collection has more elements or not. Returns true or false. And first you write iterator it equal to collection name dot iterator method. Then while it dot has next, it means this variable. It dot has next. That means first collection element will iterate by this iterator method and stores in the it variable. Now you are checking whether it has element or not. If it has an element and it comes inside system.out.println, you can print it. The element name it dot next method will fetch the value from the it. It will fetch the value. Public object next. It returns the element and moves the cursor pointer to the next element. That's a next method. Has next will just check whether next element is there in the collection or not, or in the IT variable, whatever you are storing, what iterator is returning. And next method will fetch the value. What value is there in the IT? That value it will fetch, and cursor will move to the next element automatically. That is the mostly used these two methods, as next to next to. This entire syntax you will write many times in the Selenium. These 3 lines of code you will write many times when you are working with the tabs, when you are working with the pop-ups. This is the code you will write. And very, very important, these lines of code. Same code you will use in the automation. So this collection name you will replace. Remaining code as it is. So That's the Iterator interface. Okay, next let's discuss a list interface. A list interface is the sub-interface of a collection, and it contains index-based methods. On the collection interface, we have seen all the methods with the object element directly. You are inserting with a direct element. Only single parameter, right? Each method contains single parameter or collection of element parameter. But the list interface contains all the methods which contains index based. If you want to insert an element, you can insert based on the index position. Or you want to access the element from the collection, you can access based on the index. Like array also works based on the index, right? And same, the list interface methods are index based methods are available. You can use while working with collection. Even you can delete the element based on the index. The index based methods are declared in this list interface, and you can use them whenever you are working with a list collection. So the list collection declaration is public interface list, and this is the, in the angle brackets, this is the type of data what you are going to store in the list. Extends collection interface. So list interface extends the collection. That means list is the sub interface, collection is a parent interface. And all the, now wherever you are implementing the list, you have to implement the collection methods, list methods in that class. So I told you the list is implemented in the array list, linked list, vector classes. So that each class you have to implement the iterable, collection and list methods in the array list. Same linked list, same vector also you have to implement all these methods in those classes. But the behavior will be differently based on the class. It will change. You will write the logic differently. That is this list interface. See, some of the methods I have listed out here. Same add method you have in the collection interface, that is only add element, right? But list method, this one list method, int index and element. The type of list is element, and you can insert in this index. That's a add method. Same add all method also. You have int index, a collection of elements you can insert in this position. That's a, this is add all is from collection interface, and this add method also from collection. And the index based methods are all related to list interface. So that is the point you need to catch here. Wherever index based, so I want to get an element from the collection, you need to call get method. How to call get method? The collection name dot get of int index you pass. The index number you give on that element, it returns the element for you on that index. What element is there? You can access through get method. This is the very important. How can you access the collection elements? List of collection elements, collection name dot get of int index. That's how you can access the collection elements or list type collection elements. Other collection you cannot use this get method. Get method is available in the list collection. Only list related collections you can access through get method. And remaining methods are all coming from there. Last index of, if you want to get the last element index, you can use these methods. And other methods are not that much important. We already know this. remove. Another one, you can remove based on the index also. So that's some of the methods you have in the list interface. So list iterator, we have seen iterator interface. A list iterator is used to traverse the elements in backward and forward direction. So if you want to iterate the elements or traverse the elements in forward direction and reverse direction, that's the list iterator interface means. And public interface list iterator extends iterator interface. We have seen iterator will iterate the elements in one direction, but list iterator will iterate the elements in forward and backward direction. So the list iterator is the sub interface to this iterator interface. Iterator is a parent interface, and this is the two interface relations we need to remember. So this is the has next. Next is coming from iterator interface, and you have has previous. Has previous means whether a previous element is there or not. If you want to check, you can use has previous. Has next will check whether the next element is present or not. You can check. Next method, it will fetch the element on that position. So on that variable, you can get it with the next method, and then cursor will move to next element. Previous method, you want to return the previous element, you can get with the previous element, previous method. These are the methods important for us. So from this list iterator. And next one, we are okay. Let me give you more points on the list. A list is a sub interface. I told 1 point. Okay, sub interface of a collection interface. And second point, I told list contains all the methods, index based methods it contains. So for example, you want to insert a particular index, you can insert if you use index based add method. You want to access the particular element based on the index, you have to use collection name dot get of int index. You can get the element. That means you are accessing the element with a get method. And you can delete by calling remove method. These are all operations you can do in the list collection. And also another important point, list is ordered collection. That means whatever the order you are inserting, same order it will be maintained and returned to you. That's a ordered collection. List is a ordered collection. And another one, list contains duplicate elements. You can insert same element multiple times. That is in the list possible. These are the points you need to remember. And list is implemented in the array list class, right? Let's discuss what is array list. What is meant by array list? Array list class uses a dynamic array for storing the elements. Basically, remember, any collection, the purpose is storing the objects or elements. Any collection, it doesn't matter what collection you're using. The main objective of any collection is storing the elements. Array also like that, right? Multiple elements you can store in the array, but that is the size is fixed there. But here the size is a dynamic. That's why we are calling a dynamic array for storing the elements. That's array list. Array list class uses a dynamic array for storing the elements, multiple elements. It inherits the abstract list class and implements the list interface. See that array list extends to abstract list class and implements the dotted lines, implements list interface. List already extend to collection. Collection is extend to iterable. That means when you're implementing a list in the array list, you have to implement the list methods, collection methods, iterable methods. All these methods you have to implement in the array list. That's how this array list hierarchy will be there. Now let's discuss a few points about array list. Array list class can contain duplicates because list contains duplicate elements. Array list class maintains the insertion order. Whatever order you are inserting the elements, same order will be written to you by array list. It maintains the insertion order. Array list class is a non-synchronized, and array list class allows random access because array works based on the index. Array list class manipulation is very slow because a lot of shifting needs to occur if any element is removed from the array list. That's the array list class. These are the points you need to remember.
Index also starts from 0, right?
Yeah, that's a index is 0 always. Now, so this is the hierarchy I already mentioned here in this diagram. See the class wise I'm giving. Public class array list, extends abstract list, implements list. So again, you don't need to write a collection and iterable. You don't need to show that, right? This is already extended. List is extended to collection. Collection is extended to iterable. A list, random access, clonable, serializable interfaces. So many interfaces you are implementing in this array list class. So the constructors of Java array list class. A class contains many constructors, right? That's we call that constructor overloading. And see that default constructor is there. And parameterized constructor also there. And array list, so integer value also you can pass how much the capacity of this array list, how many elements you can store there. That also you can specify with these constructors. Same methods, we don't need to discuss these methods because all the list methods are in the array list class. I don't want to discuss one more time. We already discussed. Next, linked list. Linked list class uses a doubly linked list or a singly linked list to store the elements. It provides a linked list data structure. It inherits the abstract list class and implements a list and DQ interfaces. As in the first diagram I mentioned, linked list implements the list interface and also DQ interface also. Two interfaces it is implementing. That's a linked list. So then what is the difference between array list and linked list? Few points are common. Like linked list can maintain duplicate elements because it is implementing list, right? That's why you can insert the duplicate elements. Maintains the insertion order, and linked list class is non-synchronized. Even array list also, these 3 points common. But the fourth point, observe this. Manipulation is very fast in the linked list because no shifting needs to occur here. Shifting means what? For example, you delete some element in the middle. All the elements will shift to one position here and there. That shifting takes place in the array list. But here, that shifting doesn't take because you can insert the elements from both sides. Double linked limbs, you can insert this side, you can insert this side. So that's why you don't need that shifting doesn't take here. That's the reason it's a manipulation is a very fast in the linked list. So linked list class can be used as a list, as a stack, as a queue also. That's a linked list. And it's a big topic. So mainly in the interviews, they will ask linked list based questions. Many programs they will ask. But so we don't need that much for our Selenium. Mainly big companies will target only data structures. Another big topic, that one. Data structures and algorithms. Mainly they will ask on these areas. Stack, this linked list, and trees. These are the areas they will ask in the data structures. So we don't need that much here. So just understand the hierarchy of this linked list, how it is working. Extends abstract sequential list, implements a list interface, DQ interface. That's a linked list. It's also same as array list. You have interfaces and you can insert elements, right? These are the methods. So many methods you have in this linked list. Then vector class. I told you list is implemented in the array list, linked list, and vector classes. Vector is just a dynamic array to store the data elements. It is similar to array list, but it is synchronized, and other two are non-synchronized. And this vector contains many methods that are not part of the collection framework. So that's the vector is a old class, very old class, and that's all about vector. What is a stack? A stack is the subclass of vector. It implements the last in first out data structure. That's a stack means. The example for stack is a go down, right? And last in first out. LIFO is the main abbreviation for this last in first out. LIFO abbreviation is last in first out. That stack is the last in first out data structure. The stack contains all the methods of vector class and also provides its methods like push, peek. These elements these methods you can use to get the values from the data structure. That's a stack. And queue interface maintains the first in first order, first in first out order, right? Before it will work. It can be defined as an ordered list that is used to hold the elements which are about to be processed. That's a queue. These are various classes like priority queue, DQ, and array DQ classes. The queue is implemented in the priority queue class. DQ is implemented in the array DQ class and linked list class. So this is the queue interface means. Let's see what is the difference between array list and linked list. Array list internally uses a dynamic array to store the elements. Linked list internally uses a doubly linked list to store the elements. Under array list, manipulation is slow because it internally uses an array. If an element is removed from the array, all the bits are shifted in the memory. That's the array list concept. If you remove one element, how elements will be, the memory bits will be moved. And the manipulation with linked list is very faster than array list because it uses a doubly linked list. So no bit shifting is required in the memory. And array list class can act as a list only because it implements the list interface. Linked list class can act as a list and a queue, both because it implements the list and DQ interfaces. Array list is better for storing and accessing the data. Linked list is better for manipulating the data. Okay, so this is the main differences between array list and linked list. Generics. So generics is a very big topic. I don't want to give a in detail. I don't want to confuse you. And here it is. Just I'll give you a little bit idea how much we need for the WebDriver. What is a generics? What is meant by generics? So Java generics will allows you to have only one type of object in the collection. Now, if you are not specifying the data type, you can have any type of object in the collection. If you specify the one type, If you want to specify only one type of elements, you want to store only one type of elements, that is not possible with normal non-generic format. And you can have generic concept to have only one type of elements in the collection. That is called generics. Generics will allow you to have only one type of objects in the collection. Now, so one type of objects means is the type safe. So typecasting is not required at runtime, right? You don't need to typecast. If different elements are there, you are assigning to different data type, you'll get a typecasting, a type mismatch error. That option you don't need if you use a generics. So non-generic format, how can you create a collection? So basically you can create an object for a classes only. That means array list class I'm creating object. Array list AL equal to new array list. This is a non-generic format. That means I'm not specifying any data type. Now AL is the collection object. AL is the collection object. In this collection object, you can store any type of elements, any type of objects. That you are not specifying the data type. I can store Boolean objects, I can store integer objects, I can store strings, I can store characters, any type of objects I can store in this AL collection. So it's a homogeneous and heterogeneous elements you can store in the collection. That's the non-generic. But what is the generic format? How can you write a generic format? This is the generic format. Array list, angular braces, I am specifying the data type. That's a data type. So this is the how to mention generics. In the angular braces, you are telling the data type of the collection elements. And this AL collection, AL is the collection object. This collection object should contain only string elements. Other than strings, if you specify in the collection, you will get an error, compile time error. And new array list, you have to specify the data type in both sides, and left side and right side also. This is the generic format how to create your collection. So creating a collection is nothing but you are creating object for the classes. Either you can use a runtime polymorphism concept, or you can create a object for a class also. Anything, but generic format means, so you will specify the data type in the angular braces, both left and right hand side. So now we are forcing the array list to have only string type data here. In this array list, you are forcing to have only string type of data elements. Now the collection data type is, you have to tell whatever you are mentioning in this angular bracket. If anybody asks you what is the data type of AL collection, so what is the data type? How can you decide? The angular braces inside, whatever the data type is there, that keyword is the data type of collection. So this point is important for our WebDriver. So if you want to understand the WebDriver methods, this generic concept is important there. So let's see here. List is an interface. I'm using a runtime polymorphism here. List angular braces data type, collection object equal to WebDriver plural methods. That means some of the WebDriver methods is returning a list type collection. So return type method I'm writing here. So the return type of this method is a list angular braces data type. The collection object equal to WebDriver plural methods. That method returns a group of objects that you can store in this list type collection. This collection contains this data type elements. And generically, I'm giving this one syntax. The same syntax you will use in the WebDriver. And here, if you want to use non-generic format, you can create a runtime polymerization concept. List is an interface that collection name object equal to new array list and non-generic format. And generic format, list angular braces inside data type, collection name equal to new array list and angular braces data type, then parenthesis semicolon. This is the generic format. How to create a array list with a non-generic format? This is the one. How to create array list with a generic format? This is the concept. Next, how can you create a set collection in the generic format? And this one, set angular braces data type, collection name equal to new implementing class the data type. So you can see. And some WebDriver methods returns a list collection. Some WebDriver methods returns a set collection. That's why I'm writing specifically here. Same, the return type methods. It can be anything. I told you even collection of elements the method can return. This collection is also one of the data type, right? List to set is the data type, but in generic format it returns. And set, how to create a set collection? Set angular braces data type, collection name equal to new hash set, linked hash set, and tree set. These are the classes implementing the set interface. So that's how to implement a set, how to create a generic format set collection. Then what is a set? Now we have seen till now list, and this part is only generics how to create. Generic collections how to create I have shown you here. But what is a set? A set is a sub interface of a collection interface, and it represents an unordered set of elements. I told you list is an ordered collection of elements. Set is unordered collection of elements will be there, which doesn't allow us to store duplicate elements. It contains only unique elements. Even if you enter duplicate elements, while returning the collection for us, it returns only one element, not the duplicate elements. That's the difference between list and set. List contains duplicate elements, that is ordered collection. Set is a unordered collection and contains unique elements only. That's a set collection. And set, we can store at most one null value in the set. Set is implemented by hash set, linked hash set, and tree set classes. These three classes inside the set methods are implemented. And this is the how you can create each class set collection. Set angular braces data type, s1 equal to new hash set data type. This is the generic format. How to create a set collection. A set angular braces data type, s2 equal to new linked hash set data type. You can create a linked hash set collection, and you can create a tree set collection also with this format. Now, what is the difference? See that this diagram will explain very clearly to you. See that a set extends to collection. Now, set is implemented in the hash set class, linked hash set class, and tree set class. Then what is the difference between hash set to linked hash set and tree set? So let's see that. So Java hash set. So hash set class is used to create a collection that uses a hash table for storage the elements, for storing the elements. It inherits the abstract set class and implements the set interface. Basically, list is storing the elements in the order, and index based you can insert the elements. Set is storing the elements using the hashing technique. Hashing means the memory, right? The hash code based it will insert the elements. See that this point is telling very clearly. Hash set stores the elements by using a mechanism called hashing. Hashing means a memory wise it will store the elements. There is no index concept in the set collection and any hash set collection. Hash set or linked hash set, it doesn't store based on the index. You cannot access the elements also based on the index in the set collection. Keep that point in mind. And hash set contains unique elements only. Hash set allows null value. One null value you can insert. Hash set class is a non-synchronized. Hash set doesn't maintain the insertion order. Elements are inserted on the basis of their hash code. Hash set is the best approach for set operations, and the initial default capacity of hash set is 16 and the load factor is 0.75. And this is the hierarchy. Hash set extends abstract set, implements set interface, clonable and serializable also. And these are the constructors, default constructor and parameterized constructors. You can use any one of them. And methods are all the collection methods. These are add method. These are all from collection only, right? Extra, you're getting clone method here, and contains method, is empty. These are all coming from collection, and you're getting extra here, split iterator, clone methods in this set interface. And hash set is, that's a hash set. Unordered collection, unordered set collection you can create, and then also it will be inserting the elements in the hashing technique. So the linked hash set is same, it is implementing the set collection, and the linked hash set class represents the linked list implementation of the set interface, but it extends the hash set class and implements the set interface. Basically, linked hash set maintains the insertion order and permits null elements also. Hash set is not maintaining the insertion order. It will give you its own order elements. When you are returning, it returns only its own order, not the insertion order. But linked hash set, whatever the order you inserted, that order will be returned by linked hash set class. That's the difference between hash set and linked hash set. And the tree set class implements the set interface that uses a tree for storage. Basically, all the elements are sorting in ascending order. Alphabetical order, it sorts and give it to you. That's the tree set main difference. Are you clear on the hash set, linked hash set and tree set? And another one, how can you convert set into list? You have a set collection. How can you convert into list collection? And this is the formula you have to use. List, string list equal to new array list, and you pass the set collection to this array list constructor. Automatically, that will be converted into list collection. Same, convert list into set collection. How can you convert list collection into set collection? You create object for any set collection, set data type, collection name equal to new hash set, a data type, you pass the list collection name. Basically, you're using a constructor here, different constructors. So the difference between list and set. A list can contain duplicate elements, whereas set contains unique elements. List is ordered collection, whereas set is unordered collection. List elements can be accessed using index, whereas set collection elements cannot be accessed using index. List is implemented by array list, linked list, and vector, whereas set is implemented by hash set, linked hash set, and set classes. So this is a very important interview question. What is the difference between list and set? So then what is the difference between iterator and list iterator? Iterator can traverse the elements in forward direction, whereas list iterator can be used to traverse the elements in forward and backward direction. A list iterator inherits from iterator interface, comes with extra functions like adding an element, replacing element, getting index position, for previous and next elements. Basically, previous and previous methods you're getting extra in the list iterator. And we can use iterator to traverse a set and list collections. Whereas list iterator you can use only for list collection. Keep this point in mind. These are the differences. Okay, you have a collection. How can you iterate the collection? We can use Iterator Interface and Iterator Method to iterate your collection. First element to last element. How can you iterate? Using Iterator Method, you can do that. So this is the syntax. The return type of this Iterator method is Iterator Interface. The variable equal to collection name dot Iterator method. So first, this Iterator method will go to first element of this collection that will be stored in this IT variable. Now you are checking while it dot has next. The it variable has an element or not, it will check and comes into the while loop body, and you can get the element with next method. And the next method will move the cursor to next element. So second element, this will fetch and stores here. Again, the loop will keep iterating till the last element of the collection. That's how you can iterate the collection by iterator method. You can iterate either list collection or set collection with iterator method. And you can do for each loop also you can use. What is the for each loop syntax? For bracket data type variable name colon collection name, and you can write the statement and logic inside how you want to iterate. Now this variable represents the each collection element, and that you can use in the body how you want to use that element. Directly you are getting the element here with a for each loop. And how can you use a normal for loop? Normal for loop you can use only for list collection, because list collection works based on the index. That's why you can use a normal for loop for list collection only. And above two you can use for the set collection also. These two you can use it for a set and list collections both. But normal for loop you can use only for list collection only. And what is the normal for loop syntax? For bracket initialization semicolon condition semicolon increment and decrement part, curly braces statements and logic you can write. So this is the how you can iterate the collections. That's all theory part, and tomorrow I'll show you the programs with all this list and set collections. Then we can go for the map. The last map is another important one, and we'll see that in the next class. Any questions?
So on this iterator collection,